Well, we're ready for a big night in the capital, which could have huge ramifications at both ends of the table. A point absolutely priceless for Queen's Park Rangers. Anything less than all three would be a disaster for Leeds United. I will leave you for your live and exclusive EFL Championship commentary on Talksport 2 this Friday night with the former Ipswich Town striker Sam Parkin and our very own Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Hugh. Good evening once again. It's been an incredible season at the top of the Championship, but the most significant moments are still to come, and events here at Loftus Road could really set the tone for the next week. Of course, by the end of this evening, Queen's Park Rangers could be safe and Leicester could be promoted, but Leeds will have something to say about that, and a win for them would pile the pressure back on Ipswich, who still have 3 games to play but would be 4 points behind with very little margin for error. Queen's Park Rangers are about to get the game underway here. It is a raucous atmosphere inside this compact parochial stadium. Rangers in the blue and white hoops, Leeds United in their change kit of all pink with gold and blue trim. Darren Bond is our referee, and there is no doubting the tension and expectation all around this stadium before this game here tonight. Here we go again. The Championship has delivered on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2 all season, and tonight survival and promotion are both top of the agenda. Rangers coming forward, attacking the goal away to our right at the start. Jimmy Dunn inside the penalty area, challenged by Ampadu, and it will go behind for a goal kick.
From the kick-off, Jimmy Dunn goes really high on the right-hand side for Rangers. I presume the ploy was to hit him from Jake Clark-Salter, who received the ball left-footed. Didn't actually go to him, but in the second phase, Willock worked it into Jimmy Dunn and just thought for a moment maybe a Leeds United defender was going to commit to the challenge, pulled out, and ball goes out of play.
Anderson flicks on, looking for Dyke, but it's all the way back towards Meslier, who could have picked that ball up, but instead he chooses to hoof the ball away on the far side. But play has been stopped, and it will be an opportunity for Queen's Park Rangers to loft this ball into the penalty area from the throw. And a reminder of their team again: Begovic in goal, Dunn, Cook, Clark-Salter and Pole the back four, Cole back in field, holding in midfield, Willock, Anderson and Chair behind Dykes in attack. And one of their newer signings, Lucas Anderson, will wind up for the long throw in front of the Stamboul stand on the far side. Loops it in towards the near post, rising to clear away is Ruta. Inside the penalty area, Nonto tees up Ruta again, who hammers clear up towards the halfway line, looking for Peru, but it's not cleared by Paul on the far side. Eventually it's straight out of play, and it will be a throw into Queen's Park Rangers. The Leeds team again: Meslier in goal, Byram, Ampadu, Roden and Firpo their back four, Gruev and Gray holding in midfield, with Nonto, Ruta and Somerville behind Peru in attack. Peru for Bamford, the one change from that 4-3 victory at Middlesbrough, live on Talksport 2 on Monday night. Another high diagonal ball towards the far side for Queen's Park Rangers, looking for Elias Chair, but it skips over his knee, straight out of play, and it will be a throw into Leeds, level with the edge of their own penalty area on the far side. 2 minutes played here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2. And it's Queen's Park Rangers 0, Leeds United 0. A reminder, Leicester are promoted if Leeds lose. Queen's Park Rangers are safe for sure if they win, but a point may take them a long way towards safety as well, as Dykes does well to guide it wide to this near side, the right, and Willock, who will try and take on the challenger. Firpo delivers it across high to the far post, not clear by Roden. Nonto slashes the ball across his own penalty area, but then Anderson challenges Gray, and it will be a free kick to Leeds on the edge of their own box.
Started really well, QPR, all the football being played in Leeds half, and fantastic wing play from Chris Willock, dug out a brilliant ball, and as the centre forward there, Lyndon Dykes arriving in between the two Leeds United centre halves, you're just praying that that's got that little bit of elevation. That means it's going to miss Rodon, but he actually defended it really well.
Dartmouth just about descending here over West London on a cool, clear evening at Loftus Road. Leeds, of course, have packed out the school end away to our right-hand side, but elsewhere there is barely a seat to be had. A crowd of around 18,000 here tonight, Rangers' largest of the season. A reminder, the situation at the top of the table at the start of play. Leicester with 2 games to play, 94 points. Leeds with 90 points. Ipswich, they have 3 games to play, 89 points. Southampton also with 2 games to play. They are on 84 points and now looking at the playoffs. At the bottom, Queen's Park Rangers have 50 points, level on points with Stoke. Blackburn have 49, Plymouth 48, Sheffield Wednesday 47, into the relegation zone, Birmingham 46, Huddersfield 44 and Rotherham already relegated. And of course a massive game coming up tomorrow, Huddersfield playing Birmingham, which could go a long way to sorting out the relegation picture. And in many ways, Sam Parkin, this game could really set the tone for the top of the table as Gray comes forward now for Leeds, finding Somerville, who comes in field to pick out Nonto on the edge of the penalty area. Wide towards Gray down the left-hand side. A low ball crossed in but cut out by Queen's Park Rangers Player of the Year, Steve Cook, at the near post. Now an opportunity for Rangers to try and break with Lyndon Dykes on this near side, but it's guided back towards Meslier. Whatever happens here, Leicester could be up. If Leeds lose, maybe the pressure is relieved slightly on Ipswich before they go to Hull live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. Yeah, absolutely. They know that they're going to have to be at it across the next 7 days. Ipswich Town, so yeah, that would alleviate maybe a little bit of pressure ahead of that game. And yeah, it's a game where I expect Hull to be bang up for it as well, Nigel, considering what happened in the week. They can't have an off day at this stage, so that's going to be some atmosphere up there tomorrow. Leicester next in action at Preston, live on Talksport 2 on Monday night. Of course, if Leeds lose here, Leicester are up before that game. Now Willock, enterprising run right down the centre for Queen's Park Rangers. He's gone beyond the challenge of Gruev, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Tries to link up with Dykes, but Dykes in many ways was too eager. Made the move too soon. The pass was behind him, and it's behind for a goal kick. But Leeds there won't appreciate Chris Willock going right down the centre and right through the heart of their defence. Yeah, he's doing a good job actually, Willock, just tucking in and making sure he's helping out the full-back. He was really tight to Nonto there, was able to nick the ball off him. Brilliant little body swerve on Gruev, I think it was. Just unfortunately, Lyndon Dykes maybe should have stayed wider. Cook heads it back now to Asmir Begovic, now 36 years of age. He was sent off in the corresponding game at Ellen Road when Leeds won by a 1-0 back in October, when Marti Zefuentes arrived from Hammarby in Sweden. Rangers had won only 2 games in their opening 14. They just lost 6 games in a row, and they were 6 points adrift in the relegation zone. But he has transformed the mood on and off the field at Loftus Road. They were in the relegation zone until mid-February. They were so far behind, but now they are looking upwards, and with 50 points they should be okay, shouldn't they? I know no one around here is saying that, but yeah, they could easily stay up, couldn't they, with the total they've got now, or with just another point possibly. There's so many permutations that have to go against QPR. I think the kind of supercomputer has them 58% safe even with 2 defeats maybe, so yeah, they've done wonderfully well to put themselves in this position, Nigel. I said it, in the first hour of the show. I think their man Sheffield Wednesday have improved no end. Early part of the season, you wouldn't have given any hope for those 2 teams staying in the division probably. We have played 7 minutes here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2. Goalless between Queen's Park Rangers and Leeds United. It's always been a fairly common thought that in the Championship 50 points means safety and 90 points definitely means you're going up, but that's not the case this season. Now Chair in space for Queen's Park Rangers. On the far side, the left, he's got Paul coming forward on the overlap. Chair though comes in field onto the right foot, low shot from him. Oh, what a brilliant goal from Elias Chair. A moment of inspiration which could mean survival for Queen's Park Rangers and promotion for Leicester City. A long way to go, but Loftus Road is bouncing, and it's Queen's Park Rangers 1, Leeds United 0.
Well, no question, Chair, Willock, Anderson been at it from the first whistle tonight. I mean, that is a brilliant finish first and foremost, but that is such a mess from Leeds United. Gruev is the holding midfielder by himself really tonight. Graham Rutter playing in advanced roles of him, He's 10, 15 yards away from Ilias Chair, who tucks in off the left-hand side. He's got 15, 20 yards of space, really, when he picks up. Gruev recovers, and it actually takes a little nick off Rodon, who's doing his utmost just to block it, off his shoulder almost, and that takes it spinning into the corner away from Meslier.
Well, he almost leant into it, Joe Rodon, and sent that ball spinning up off the turf and away from Meslier. But it's Queen's Park Rangers 1, Leeds United 0. If it stays like this, Leicester are promoted and Queen's Park Rangers are safe. Long way to go, of course, and Leeds have picked up 25 points from losing positions this season as Nonto chases on the far side, but Parl will run the ball behind and it will be a goal kick, and Nonto has stayed down on his haunches by the corner flag on the far side, and Darren Bond, the referee, is having to go over to see how he is. I wonder, does he have a facial injury of some sort?
Yeah, I think he just got caught with a flailing arm. Yeah, it just goes down. Yeah, I mean, that was a mess, Nigel. You think Byram nominally is going to be the one picking up Ilias Chair. If he comes in field, he's got to be really safe in the knowledge that someone's going to do that job. I mean, he's QPR's best creative player, Ilias Chair. Acres of space. When that was building, you felt concerned that this was going to end in a good chance, and it was worse than that for Leeds United. Outstanding finish from Chair.
Chair's first goal in 10 games since he scored for Queen's Park Rangers in the win at Leicester, so he's saving his goals up for the big occasion this season.
Yeah, he's a talented player. He's been a really big player for them the last few seasons, but him and Chris Willock at that phenomenal start to last season under Mick Beard, if memory serves me right, when they were absolutely flying at the summit of the division, and they're not really in tandem produced that type of level since, but great start for them tonight, and they both look really on their game.
10 minutes played. Queen's Park Rangers leading here by a goal to nil, and their recent run has been excellent. 6 wins, 3 draws and 3 losses after only 5 wins in their opening 27 games. And they are sealing safety here tonight, and the crowd are absolutely loving it at the moment. But the Leeds fans in the school end away to our right look nervous, and they are quiet, because defeat here would not only send Leicester up, it would give Ipswich a real opportunity, a point behind, and they would have 2 games in hand. It would give Ipswich breathing space, and of course they go to Hull live on Talksport 2, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Such a big day on the Talksport network tomorrow. Every single angle covered. Game day on Talksport has West Ham against Liverpool at 12:30 with Reshman, Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. Here on Talksport 2, the conclusion of the League One season. Our commentary game is Derby against Carlisle with Ian Danter and Chris Awelamo. Derby, of course, need a point to go up. Game day live with Adrian Durham at 2:30 on Talksport. We'll have all the goals as they go, and it's also the final day of the League 2 season as well. Either Colchester or Sutton will be relegated. The playoffs are still to be sorted out as well. Here on 2, we have Newcastle against Sheffield United at 3 o'clock with Adam Bridge and Simon Grayson, followed by Chelsea against Barcelona, the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg. Charlotte Richardson and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk on duty at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea a goal up from the first leg. As Leeds come forward now with Somerville on the edge of the penalty area. He looks to wriggle away from a challenge. Peru now to his left, fires in the shot low, beaten away by Begovic, and scramble clear by Parl at the far post behind for a corner. And Joel Peru so close to the equalising goal there, but Begovic did really well.
Terrifically clever effort there. His body's around, takes it really early, Joel Peru, and it's an outstanding save down to his left, Begovic. The problem, Somerville there, he's playing really inverted, really central. Chris Willock's been doing a good job on him, coming back and just making sure he's in close enough proximity. Let him go there, and he almost got in for a shot himself, and he was the architect of the chance for Peru.
Corner for Leeds on the far side, which Somerville will take, and it's a hostile atmosphere for Leeds inside Loftus Road at the moment. It's whirled high to the far post, nodded down by Roden, and then cleared away by Chair, and there's an opportunity for Willock to lead the counter-attack here. Gruev has tracked his run, wide towards the far side, the left, back towards Chair, the goal scorer. Willock in space as well down the left, but it's all the way back towards Kenneth Parle, and now the Flamehead Jack Colback will just try and control things, and he's played a good ball forward towards Chair, quickly on to Willock down the left-hand side. Willock now will look to try and spin away from Rodon, who's rather been isolated wide on the Leeds right-hand side. Chair will try and come in field again, but Byram is able to momentarily win it back. Rodon is then caught by Colback, and it will be a free kick. And it's always a raucous atmosphere here, but there was a real hostility in the air tonight, isn't there? Passion, I suppose, would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the crowd raise their games, don't they, when a side of the stature of Leeds are in town. So, yeah, really good atmosphere. Night game, Friday night, always adds to it. And, of course, what's at stake for both sides?
Well, at the moment, Queen's Park Rangers are taking care of business, and Leeds United aren't. Rangers leading by 1-0, and Leicester fans listening in the East Midlands and beyond will be counting down the minutes already, because it could be promotion tonight with 2 games to spare as Wilfred Gnonto goes down on the far side. He was the player who actually tried to challenge Jack Colback, and Colback was the player who went down, and for the second time in a matter of minutes, Gnonto has gone down clutching his face.
Yeah, there's a little arm across him, isn't there? Arm into the chest maybe, and it's just the hand that goes into the face of Gnonto, but it can be sore, can't it, if you get a poke in the eye, but I don't think that was the case. Just needs to get back to his feet and get on with it.
And you're listening to Queen's Park Rangers against Leeds in the EFL Championship, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Anderson over the free kick on the far side, slipped down the line, looking for Chair, but a poor delivery straight to Gnonto, but Gnonto's given the ball away to Colback, and now Chair can bring it forward again here. Gray may have a problem on the far side, and then Chair has been taken out by a wild challenge on the far side from Archie Gray, and in the end a free kick's been given, and Gray can have no complaints. So my apologies, it was Sam Byram who took him out, and he really did take him out.
Yeah, the ball gets away from Chair. He's so sharp though, and he just nicks it away from the sliding challenge. It's horrible, and he's fortunate, isn't he? There's no contact really with the studs there, or that could have been worse than a yellow. Wild lunge, just committed fully.
Free kick which Anderson will take on the far side. Don't forget, a choice of listing tomorrow night. Talksport has Aston Villa against Chelsea at 8 o'clock. Here on Talksport 2, it is Hull against Ipswich, and I wonder how the Ipswich players are feeling at the moment with Leeds losing. Anderson over the free kick here, much better than a corner for Queen's Park Rangers on the far side, the left. 16 minutes played, 1-0 to the R's at the moment. Anderson whips it in towards the near post, it's not cleared, volleyed in by Chair, and it whizzed over the top and not too far over.
Good chance, and Piru's a good 3 or 4 yards away from Chair. When that falls on the half volley, I think he'll be unhappy with himself that he's not got that onto the target.
Well, Leeds came from behind, of course, to win at Middlesbrough, live on Talksport 2 on Monday, but they've not scored here in 4 of their previous 5 visits. All of those were lost, as Gnonto tries to go beyond Parle on the far side, but again the challenge comes in, and again it's a throw into Queen's Park Rangers. And of course it's a very tight playing surface here, Sam. You'd have played here on many occasions, and the expansive style of Leeds United isn't really being helped by that.
Yeah, I think it helps early part of the game, especially when you talk of the hostile atmosphere, as we did a few moments ago, and yeah, it can be intimidating, especially when you've got that energy early part of the game. Sometimes that could subside in the second period, inevitably, but at the moment they're at it. There is an aggression about QPR, no doubt about it.
And they're coming forward again now with Parle on the far side, the left. The early cross in, Dykes with a glancing header, And it goes beyond the far post and wide, but again it was a free header for Lyndon Dykes inside the penalty area. And I think had he left it, Willock coming in at the far post may have had something close to a tap-in.
Really good movement. Hull will do that. He'll bomb on down the left-hand side. Dunn will stay and kind of make QPR into a back three when they're building. And it's a clever pass because he's only really got Dykes to hit. Very difficult header, but he's capable, Dykes. He's really capable of getting those kind of outstanding headers when you don't expect him to get it onto the target. Just needed a little bit more contact, I suppose, to guide it towards the far post.
But Leeds are not at it at all at the moment as Nonto pulls the shirt on the far side of Sam Field and concedes the free kick. And there are blue and white hoops all over the field at the moment, and seemingly one or two extra, because there's so much energy from Queen's Park Rangers. They've got the goal, but they're not stopping there.
Yeah, there's just better chemistry with the QPR front players at the moment. Leeds had maybe a 4 or 5 minute period with the ball after QPR scored, but the QPR front players absolutely enjoying themselves at the moment, and we're waiting for that Leeds quartet to click into gear.
Elias Chair with the early goal after 8 minutes for Queen's Park Rangers, an absolute belter. And Leeds are trailing here, and Leicester are going up as it stands. And Ipswich, if it stays like this, would be a point behind Leeds with 2 games in hand, but 2 tough games, of course, against Hull and Coventry. The situation for the final 2 playoff places, West Brom and Norwich, level on 72 points. Hull just outside with 69 points, and Coventry still have a mathematical possibility. They have 3 games to play, and they've got 63 points, but they need to win all 3, make up some goal difference, and hope everybody else loses. Dykes now flicks a long ball forward, looking for Willock, who was beyond the challenge of Firpo initially on this near side. Firpo then recovers, but it's down the line for Anderson. Anderson looks to turn away from Gruev. Back towards Willock again. Chair comes short on the edge of the penalty area, right-hand side. And Chair, a real box of tricks at the start of this game. 20 minutes played. Willock with a low cross in, helped away at the near post by the captain Ampadu, and it will be a throw into Queen's Park Rangers, who are all over Leeds here.
It feels like maybe already Archie Gray has just altered his position or got some directive to just come a little bit deeper. He was really advanced of the ball when Ilias Chair picked it up and gave Rangers the lead, but all of a sudden he's back alongside Gruev and just given them a little bit more stability, I think, in that midfield, especially with Chair roaming around.
Throw in on this near side for Queen's Park Rangers. Anderson in towards the near post. It's a scrappy clearance. It's gathered now by Willock again down the right. Drives it in. Hits Firpo on the hand, but I don't think intentionally. But here is Willock finding Anderson. He skips in field. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Lucas Anderson, curling the ball in left-footed. 2 goals for Queen's Park Rangers within 21 minutes, and Leicester fans must be celebrating as well. The champagne is on ice for them, and Leeds United are in all sorts of trouble.
Well, I thought it was a decent shout for a penalty. Certainly struck the arm initially of Firpo. QPR trying to work it down the right-hand side. Lovely intricate football once more, and then it's a favourable bounce for their perspective. Anderson picking it up, and then the finish is absolutely superb. Cutting in field on his left side. Spoke about that kind of lack of goals since he maybe came to the club. Everything else has been there in abundance, but this is a peach onto his left foot, and he whipped it with real venom, real swerve away from the despairing lunge of Meslier.
Goodness me, 2-0. And Leeds here at the moment look a beaten team, we have to say. Anderson's first goal for Queen's Park Rangers. What a time to score it, and what a manner in which to score it.
Yeah, I spoke about the kind of defensive diligence that Willock was showing for QPR early part of this game. I mean, Anderson just waltzed past Somerville there, and I know it's not his game, and I know there is that concern that you're going to dangle a leg and give away a penalty, but you've got to do
Come on, it's the last week of the season. You've got to do something, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's an unnatural position for someone who wants to go the other way and score goals, but it was so easy for him to come in field there and get his strike away. The 2 goals that Leeds have given away, really poor goals. As good as the finishes were, Nigel.
Yeah, 2 great finishes, but the defending was poor on both occasions. and down both sides as well. 23 minutes played. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0, and increasingly it looks like Leicester are going up tonight. What can Leeds do here? 50 years ago tomorrow, they won the league here in Don Revie's final match as Leeds manager. That was the record crowd at Loftus Road of 35,000 to watch Alan Clark score the only goal. But it's a less memorable occasion for Leeds at the moment as Peru tries a shot from the edge of the penalty area and it drifts wide. And at the moment, anything that Leeds United are trying is not coming off here. Queen's Park Rangers fully deserving of a 2-goal lead.
Absolutely. Don't mind that from Peru though. He's had a couple of attempts. He's been starved of the ball, but got turned nicely there. 25 yards out, arrowed a shot, but a couple of yards wide of the far post. But yeah, just trying to provide a little bit of impetus for the away side.
Well, Russell Martin, the Southampton manager, is watching just down to our right-hand side. Of course, he saw his team get absolutely hammered in the second half at Leicester on Tuesday. And at the moment, Queen's Park Rangers are doing something similar here. Yeah,
they've started really well, Nigel. And I think the freedom maybe that the front players are given has been really evident, especially with that second goal. I mean, he could have thrown a blanket over Anderson, Chair and Willock momentarily down this right-hand side. There's that flexibility, I think that freedom given to them by the manager, and they're all thriving at the moment. Even Dykes, I can see the difference in his game. 2 or 3 speculative balls kind of tossed in his direction, he's won them. He's been aggressive. He's kept the ball in the final third for QPR, and that is, very different to Lyndon Dykes' form for the early part of this season.
Martí Cifuentes, the 4th manager Queen's Park Rangers have had since the beginning of last season, the 10th in the last decade, but at the moment he is getting a tune out of his team. 25 minutes played, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0. And on a night when Leeds really have to win, they have been swept away so far. Can they dig deep? They've shown amazing powers of recovery this season. They reeled in Leicester, they reeled in Ipswich. They were 10 points behind Ipswich at one stage, but 8 up the ground within 11 games. They were 17 points behind Leicester on New Year's Eve, 12 points behind them 12 games ago. And of course they were eventually above them before Leicester's 2 recent victories. But if they lose here tonight, they can get a maximum of 93 points. And incredibly, that doesn't look like being enough. On the far side, Willock gathers again. The challenge comes in from Gruev. And I wonder if Daniel Parkin may have to change things around here.
Yeah, he's having a tough time. Gruev and Gray, they're just being moved around by Rangers support 3 behind Lyndon Dykes there. Anderson's on the right-hand side. All of a sudden, Willock's in the 10. If you've got technically adept footballers, clever footballers as well, give them that freedom to just go and play. As long as they're switched on enough to fill in for one another. It's been as good a 26 minutes in an attacking sense that I've seen from QPR probably for a couple of months. It's been really good.
Anderson with a free kick, high to the far post, looking for Cook. Headed away on this near side, eventually cleared down the line by Gray to find Peru. And Peru steps in field, and he's got support from Firpo. Firpo up towards the halfway line, but straight to Colback. Leeds' passing has been shocking in the opening half hour so far. 2 goals down. Now Chair, wide towards this near side again. Chair clips it over the top, looking for Colback. Colback goes down under the challenge of Ampadu. Ampadu clears, but again, Ruta does just enough to evade the challenge of Anderson. And now Ruta can lead the counter-attack and find Somerville, who tries to dink it in field to find the run of Peru, but it's cut out by Clark Salter. And Lucas Anderson, with that flowing long hair, will guide it back to Asmir Begovic with the help of Kenneth Parle on the far side. Now Roden has gifted it straight to Anderson again. And Leeds have coughed up possession on so many occasions in this area of the field so far. Chair back towards Parle on the far side. And now Chair again. He scored the first. Anderson scored the second. Queen's Park Rangers 2 goals up in the 22nd minute. Now Clark Salter, and he and Steve Cook have had a really good partnership in recent weeks, and the former Chelsea player goes all the way back towards another one, Asmir Begovic, wearing all sky blue, defending the Queen's Park Rangers goal away to our left. Clark Salter, a high ball forward looking for Dykes, nodded clear though by Ampadu, but all the second balls are falling to players in blue and white hoop shirts at the moment. Field wide to the far side, and Chair again, and Leeds here are being given a real chasing in addition to being 2 goals down, because Queen's Park Rangers are not stopping there.
There's a lack of composure about Leeds when they're on the ball. So many passes going astray, and QPR in contrast really slick when they're in possession.
Wide to the left hand side, and Chair again, who almost beckons Nonto towards him like a matador and plays the ball infield to Willock. And now Paul, Nonto comes in with a challenge. Paul then goes down as Rutter tries to win it back, but Queen's Park Rangers maintain possession on the halfway line with Colback. Here is Cook, and you can hear the warm applause from the home supporters here. It has been utterly dominant from Queen's Park Rangers in the opening half hour here, leading by 2-0 on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. If it stays like this, Leicester are going up this evening, and Queen's Park Rangers will be safe. Now Chair on the far side, finding Paul. And Leeds can barely get a kick here, and you can see the levels of frustration growing among their players and their supporters in the school end.
Yeah, it feels like Chair and Willock have been on the ball constantly in this opening half an hour. Rutter just got turned on the halfway line. That's pretty much his first involvement in the game, and when you haven't got him on the ball and you can't get Somerville into the game, that's a big problem. So I think that kind of sums up what we've seen. QPR's talismanic forward players dominating proceedings.
Now Rutter under pressure, and he was caught there by Clark Salter midway inside the Leeds half, and it will be a free kick for Daniel Farke's team. Of course, he twice won the title with Norwich City during his previous spell in the Championship, but Leeds now may find themselves in a real battle in the final week of the season. Of course, they've been in a real battle all season, having made up ground on a number of occasions, but eventually they may run out of games. But here is Nonto fighting Rutter on the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge coming in though from Dunn, and Willock will try and bring it clear. Colback though quickly plays it wide towards Anderson down the right, who comes in field. Chair popping up in a central area. Chair though beaten to it by Gray, and the 18-year-old will try and bring it forward now with that familiar upright running pose. Nonto further wide to the far side, and Leeds here trying to build with Byram, finding Nonto again, a high cross in, and the volley from Somerville beaten away by Begovic inside the penalty area, and the rebound across the face of goal in the end from Byram, who was challenged by Powell, and it scrambled behind for a corner. But a second big save here from Asmir Begovic in the first half.
Only takes a second, and QPR are still going to have tough moments. They're still going to have vulnerabilities, and it's worked brilliantly to Nonto on the right hand side. Nice spell of possession from Leeds United, moving QPR around for the first time. Good delivery, completely unopposed Somerville. Good effort, really well saved by Begovic.
13 minutes to play in the first half. The short corner from Somerville to Nonto, who comes in field from the left, scampers square, and then finds Gruev 25 yards out. High cross in from him over the head of Firpo, who leaps in frustration, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Better couple of minutes though, unquestionably. There was actually half a chance for Rutter before the Somerville opportunity, where I felt had it been Piru who had been fed left hand side of the 18-yard box, he would have struck it first time. Rutter likes to take touches, likes to manipulate the ball, take players out of the game, and just felt maybe he could have got his shot away quicker.
12:30 tomorrow, West Ham against Liverpool on Talksport. Derby against Carlisle, the final day of the League One season here on Talksport 2. And we have Newcastle against Sheffield United at 3 o'clock. 5:30, Chelsea against Barcelona in the Women's Champions League semi-final. And then at 8 o'clock we have Hull against Ipswich. 4 huge games here on Talksport 2 tomorrow, with Aston Villa against Chelsea on Talksport, following West Ham against Liverpool at 12:30 and Game Day Live. The League 2 season also coming to an end as well, with issues still to sort out at top and bottom. A fairly key issue could be sorted out at the top of the Championship here tonight, because at the moment, with Leeds losing, Leicester will be promoted. And all of the nerves they were suffering only a week ago would seem a long time ago. But a goal before half-time would give Leeds hope in this game. Somerville, infield again towards Nonto, jab down the line, looking for Firpo, but woefully overhit, straight out of play. And there are Leeds players all over the field showing their frustration at each other.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration, because there's a touch of momentum just starting to build for Leeds. We've not been looking to our right-hand side and seeing QPR players dominating proceedings in the Leeds defensive half for a few minutes. So a little bit of a response, a couple of opportunities. Begovic has had to pull off a couple of excellent saves. So that next goal, as always, at 2-0, Leeds get this game back on.
Now Anderson on this near side, had support from Dunn, but it's infield to Steve Cook. What a good signing he has proved to be from Nottingham Forest, of course. So much experience at this level with Bournemouth. Made nearly 200 appearances in the Premier League, and also began his career in non-league as well. So he really has seen it and done it. And he's been a key player in Queen's Park Rangers' gradual recovery from an awful start this season under Gareth Ainsworth. As it's played forward by Roden again, and then hooked over the top by Peru, looking for Nonto. Nonto challenged inside the area by Clark Salter, returns to Begovic and says, why didn't you come? And in the end, Clark Salter will scramble the ball behind for a corner.
I thought there was a moment there. Had he just got to it a little sooner, could he have taken it on the half volley, just try to get it under his spell, or maybe just get his strike away? In the end, between Clark Salter and, well, Begovic was there, wasn't it? But it was the defender who got back and covered well.
9 minutes to play in the first half. Corner kick on the far side, which Crescencio Somerville will take. An outswinger high towards Roden. Roden seemed to be taken out of it in mid-air there, but in the end, nothing is given by Darren Bond, and Leeds have possession again. And in fairness to Roden, there wasn't too many complaints.
Nigel, just going back to Steve Cook, I mean, brilliant player, but I don't think you can undervalue the character. When QPR, I think, were severely lacking leadership early part of the season, coming in, I mean, unquestionably the goals have been great as well, the two that he's popped up with to get them points, but the leadership qualities he displays, brilliant signing, brilliant character, excellent player. And I don't think QPR would be in this position on the cusp of survival without him. I think he's been so vital to this potential recovery.
And in a team with so few goals, you've got to have clean sheets.
Yeah, and Clark Salter is a player that I saw a lot of in the development squad at Chelsea, the A teams, always really rated at the club, but his career probably hasn't reached the heights it should have done at this stage. Very, very calm on the ball, good defender. Now he's showing it.
Now Ruta for Leeds, down the left-hand side, has the opportunity to check to the byline, delivers the cross, but it's sent behind by Jimmy Dunn, and it will be a corner to Leeds with 8 minutes to play in the first half. And for Queen's Park Rangers now, it is all about getting to half-time, 2 goals up.
Absolutely. It's a good spell from Leeds. They've had 5 minutes or so with the ball, creating problems. Good run beyond there from Ruter and QPR. Just a little bit disjointed, possibly, for the first time in this game.
Corner kick on this near side for Leeds. Somerville will take it. This will be an in-swinger as Leeds strive for a way back into this game. High to the far post, claimed by Begovic, almost unchallenged. And he looked for the early release and then realised all his teammates were sat around him.
Yeah, keep hold of it. Good decision. Just try and alleviate a little bit of Leeds pressure that's been building.
But here is Chair on the far side for Queen's Park Rangers. Has support from Kenneth Paal, who has been another very good signing from the Dutch Eredivisie. with Pegswaller. Cook launches it forward again, wide to this near side, but Firpo gets there before Willock. But all he can do is head the ball straight out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Queen's Park Rangers, who lead here by 2-0. Their survival will be assured with a victory, as will Leicester's promotion. Dunn down the line looking for Dykes, who heads the ball in field for Anderson, who manages to poke the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Roden stretching to head the ball clear, and now Byram will play it back towards Meslier, and wide towards Byram again on the far side. But the ball down the line from Leeds doesn't pick out Nonto, and Clark Salter ends up in the front row of the stand on the far side. Such are the tight confines here at Loftus Road, and it's cleared away, and it will be a throw into Leeds. But it's not the sort of ground, not the sort of dimensions to try and play out like Leeds have tried to do here.
No, early part of the game you're going to naturally be put under pressure by QPR, and they've done that well in the first half. It's been hard for Leeds to progress the ball up the pitch. When they've had spells of possession in QPR's half, they've started to find gaps latterly, but this building from the back and working their way up, it's been tough for them. A lot of misplaced passes, and that's partly down to them and their composure, but also the squeeze that QPR have been able to maintain throughout the opening 40 minutes.
Roden plays it wide to the far side, and Sam Byram has support from Archie Gray. But it's back towards Roden again as Queen's Park Rangers just drop a bit deeper. But here is Nonto on the edge of the penalty area, right-hand side. The cross in from Gray drops towards Ruta, who miscontrols 8 yards out with a goal at his mercy. And Dykes has now been cleaned out by Nonto, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers and a yellow card for Wilfred Nonto.
Yeah, it's a yellow card, no question. His position is becoming quite problematic for Rangers. Tucked in, a little bit like Chair at the other end, and he's found nice bits of space there. And I think when it's worked to Byram on the right-hand side, I think Ruta can head that, Nigel. I mean, I used to head anything, even if it was knee high. I think he can stoop there. It's a one-touch finish. You're not going to get the luxury of being able to bring it down 7 or 8 yards from goal and then finish with your second touch. I think you just need to try and get something on it first time.
Well, 6 goals and 17 assists for Jorginho Ruta this season, but none in his last 6 games, and that's significant because Leeds' form has dropped off as well.
Yeah, he's been a great player for them this season, but you know the numbers tell the story. He's a creator, isn't he? And he's a brilliant one at that, picking the ball up deep, the unpredictability. You see statistics after games, he'll give the ball away a hell of a lot, but he'll create chances, he'll get shots away. But yeah, he's never going to be the one that gets the majority of the goals for Leeds United.
Now Chair scampering forward down the left-hand side for Queen's Park Rangers, deep into the penalty area once again. The cross is over the top and behind, and it will be a goal kick. But they are scared to death of Elias Chair.
Yeah, and the difficulty is when he's in those situations, he's so good at going on the outside on his left foot, incredibly two-footed player, so a little surprised that he wasn't able to dig that one out and put it towards Lyndon Dykes.
Queen's Park Rangers wearing their new strip for next season here tonight, and they've gone for blue and white hoops yet again. Now Willock pokes it forward, seeking out Chair on the far side, but it's cut out by Byram, and it's all the way back to Meslier. And we can hear 1 or 2 rumbles of discontent from the Leeds supporters here, who want their team to be going forward. 2 goals down with 3 minutes to play in the first half. But Leicester fans will be enjoying this. It could turn out to be a very good Friday night for them. Now the cross delivered in from Firpo towards the far post, nodded clear by Parl. But here is Byram for Leeds down their right. Works a 1-2 with Nonto, back towards Nonto inside the penalty area, but the first touch was just a bit heavy, and in the end it scrambled behind on the far side by Field, and it will be a corner kick to Leeds.
Yeah, as much as they've not been at it for the majority of this half, they've still created 3 good opportunities. I think we could be in for some fun here tonight, Nigel, because I think Leeds United in the second half will have to go for it, and maybe that's a product of what we're seeing right now, more Leeds United players tiptoeing forward in search of that goal to get them back in the game.
Well, they've got to go for it. They have to win this game, even at 2 goals down, as the corner kick is nodded clear by Dunn at the near post. helped back into the penalty area, but over the head of Firpo. Field is there to clear once again for Queen's Park Rangers, and we have less than 2 minutes of normal time to play in the first half, and Queen's Park Rangers leading here by 2-0 on Talksport 2. Leeds stunned by 2 very early goals, but 2 goals which do not flatter Queen's Park Rangers on their overall performance. Now Gruev coming forward again, wide towards Gray, and here is Ampadu moving forward now, wide to the left, and Firpo down the line for Somerville. You feel he is the key player. They need to get him on the game more here. Somerville down the left hand side, wanders back towards the midfield area. Short sleeves and gloves from him this evening, and it is getting fairly chilly. Now Byram back towards Somerville again. Ruta on the edge of the penalty area, out muscles Dunn, and the low cross in from Firpo. Good ball into the 6-yard area. Nobody got a touch, and it's out on the far side for a throw into Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, it was a good ball. Just unfortunately, for whatever reason, Nonto was over on this left-hand side just for the moment, alongside Somerville. They were looking to combine, and when the balls flashed across, Piru was the nearest Leeds United player. Unfortunately, no one arriving from that right-hand side.
Queen's Park Rangers leading by 2-0 as we close in on half-time here. 50-50 pretty much with possession. Leeds have had more shots, but Queen's Park Rangers have had 2 on target, and they've both gone in as Anderson looks to charge forward again on this near side, but it's scrambled clear by Ampadu, and it will be a throw-in for Queen's Park Rangers. And Leeds have been uncomfortable. They've been ruffled right from the very start here. And there will be a minimum of 2 more minutes. Now Dykes by the corner flag on the near side, the right, just runs it out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Leeds United. And I'm sure Daniel Farker is composing his half-time team talk, and it needs to be a good one. As Firpo on the stretch pokes the ball forward with the help of Roden. Nodded back over the top though by Cook. Now Colback finding Field. Field scoops it over the top. There's a chase for Dykes, but Firpo gets there first, and he's got support from Ampadu, who sways away from the challenge of Willock and plays it forward up to the halfway line. Peru seemed to possibly control with his arm there, but lost the ball anyway, and Queen's Park Rangers come forward with Willock again. Strong challenge on this near side from Firpo on Willock, but no free kick according to the assistant who was right there. And Leeds will try and build again with around 45 seconds of added time to play in the first half. A goal now would change the mood in both dressing rooms. Gruev for Leeds. Wide to this near side, and Firpo. Ruta makes the run towards the near post, but it's wide towards Somerville. And Dunn has played him very well so far in the first half. Now Ampadu again. Square to Colback. Roden plays it forward. Clever flick from Nonto to pick out Peru inside the penalty area. The cross there was blocked by Paul, and in the end it spins behind off Peru, and it will be a goal kick to Queen's Park Rangers. And Junior Firpo, in his frustration, throws the ball into the back of the net, and that should be half-time.
And they're unlucky because, again, it's difficult for QPR to pick Nonto up when he comes so infield, almost in a centre-forwards position. Found nice in the flick's brilliant. It just took Piru slightly wide, so he couldn't fashion the strike on his right foot and had to attempt to cross it in, and the deflection goes against Leeds United, but it's better again.
That's half-time, and you can hear the reaction of the Queen's Park Rangers crowd. As things stand, they are 45 minutes from safety, and Leicester City are 45 minutes away from a return to the Premier League. Excellent finishes in the opening 21 minutes from Elias Chair and Lucas Anderson mean at half-time it is Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0.
Well, you can never predict what is going to happen in the Championship this season, and not many of us would have seen that coming. Queen's Park Rangers 2 up at the break. But Sam Parkin, maybe Daniel Farker should have seen that coming in the first half an hour or so. He knew Queen's Park Rangers needed a point to stay in the division. He knew in front of their own fans they'd be right up for it, and yet his side took some time to get going. How disappointed should the Leeds fans be by their performance so far?
Yeah, I think they will be, Hugh. I think both sides of the game in the opening half an hour, I think they've improved latterly, last 15 minutes, but for half an hour without the ball, really, very disjointed for the two goals. The first one in particular, you can't allow it, Chair to find 10, 15 yards of space and be able to manipulate the ball as he did. That's QPR's most dangerous player. You have to get someone close to him, be aggressive with him. So yeah, they'll be really disappointed with the goal they conceded, but with the ball as well, uncharacteristically sloppy, so many balls given away, and they couldn't progress the ball and get those forward players involved until the real late stage of the first half. So yeah, maybe with hindsight you stay more compact, don't you, and you stay in the game. The game doesn't have to be won in the opening half an hour. They take QPR to the latter stages here. The nerves are going to set in for Rangers and their supporters. So maybe with hindsight they've started a little too openly. I thought Gray actually just retreated somewhat in that half and just made it a kind of double pivot to give them that security, because QPR have got such fluidity and talent in their front three behind Lynn and Dyke. So they look better towards the end, but yeah, for half an hour, miles away from their best.
Great start from Queen's Park Rangers, as you mentioned, Chair and Anderson with the goals and putting them in front. How impressed were you with Marty Cifuentes' side?
Yeah, very much so. I think there was a real aggression. I think Nigel mentioned that, alluded to that a couple of times early on in the commentary. They feed off the crowd here, I think, on nights like tonight, and yeah, there was a real aggression without the ball. And then the forward players were, from the first whistle, on song. The first time Willett collected it, the first time Chair, really positive. Touches were assured. Lynn Dykes being that presence, winning headers, probably the stuff that he gets criticised for, even though he hasn't had probably an attempt in that half where he had the header, didn't he? But hasn't had loads of sight to goal. His all-round game, his want to do the ugly side of the job, I suppose, was really evident to me. So yeah, they were completely at it, and you can just see the confidence, in comparison, the contrast to what it was latterly last season and and obviously the opening 2 months of this campaign. The confidence is flowing out of the players at the moment.
A penny for the thoughts of both managers. Do you think they stick or twist when it comes to their approach? Will we see something very different after the break?
I think naturally QPR are going to have to defend. I don't think the game will be played as much in Leeds United's half, and I think they have to go for it. Well and truly, I don't think a point would appease anyone, even at this stage. So I think they will go for it from the outset in the half, and that's why I think we could be in for something special here tonight. We could be in for a few more goals. It could ebb and flow, and I think it could be real entertainment value in the second period because of needs must for Leeds United now.
Important though that neither side really panics here. Leeds United, if they, as you say, were emerging, coming into the game more and more at the end of that half, if they can build on that consistently at the start of the second half, they could get themselves right back into it. And the same is true for Queen's Park Rangers. If you do concede one, keep your heads, because you're still in front. Yeah,
I think there'll be a vulnerability, of course. I think in any game, especially high stakes games, if you concede that third one to pin it back to 2-1, there will be naturally an anxiety that sets in. But there's a confidence about this QPR team. There's been a lot of clean sheets, and Marty Cifuentes has been here. We've spoken in that first half a great deal about Cook and Clark Salter. So the two players who love defending there now at the heart of the defence, and they'll have the attitude of bring it on to a degree. I'm sure they'll be tested, unquestionably in the second half. But I think this is a different Rangers to a few months ago. So yeah, all to do for Leeds. And the next goal, I mean, it's a cliche, but it really is pivotal tonight, because the third one goes in. I think that's the end for Leeds, and that's the title for Leicester City.
Well, they conceded 3 on Monday, still managed to score 4 and win the game. Will it be the same for Leeds United tonight? As it stands, Leicester City are returning to the Premier League tonight. Ipswich would only need 4 points from their final 3 league games to join them. Queen's Park Rangers 45 minutes from confirming their place in the Championship for next season. It is another crazy scoreline in the most remarkable of seasons. At the break live on Talksport 2, it's Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Fancy a filet-o-fish in time for the final whistle? Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Calling all savvy shoppers. It's Lidl's Pick of the Week with juicy discounts of up to 30%. Like a pack of raspberries for just $1.19. A plump aubergines just 65p each. Or a bag of rocket for only 49p. Get these and more offers in store now. Now that's big on quality and always little on price. Limited offer subject to availability, GB only.
Making a business insurance claim can be stressful. That's why at NFU Mutual we aim to respond to all claims quickly. We work with specialists to minimize disruption so you can get back to business as quickly as possible. It's no wonder over 95% of our business customers renew with us each year. For business insurance you can rely on, search NFU Mutual Business Insurance. NFU Mutual. Closer to your business and closer to what matters.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly, not available in Northern Ireland.
White, true white, pure brilliant. What's the best
white? Our Dulux Decorator Centre team will help you find the perfect white. Here you go.
Thanks for the tip. I didn't see you there. Can I pay with my...
Trade account? Sure. With your trade discount and prices tailored to you, you'll save every time you shop.
Nice. When I'm done with my empty cans, what's the best way to...
Recycle them. Just drop them in store. We're with you from start to finish. Visit us in-store or online today. Dulux Decorator Centre. Moving forwards with you.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL. Game day. The goals are calling. Tomorrow.
Exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of West Ham versus Liverpool.
Coverage from 11, kick-off 12:30 on Talksport.
The Monday Club on Talksport 2.
A broadcasting juggernaut of sport.
They were in big trouble at half-time.
Professional analysis. He always gets away with these tactical fouls.
He's the master of dark arts.
And refreshingly frank opinion after all the action.
I don't know if they're as open as they were and as aggressive as they were.
The Monday Club. The sharpest minds in the business.
Elite level mentality.
Monday afternoon from 5.
On Talksport 2.
It's game on. Coming this summer. Hear unrivaled coverage of UEFA Euro 2024 live on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Unbelievable.
The biggest football tournament in Europe, driven by the passion and prowess of the world's biggest sports radio station.
Oh, yes!
Broadcasting unmissable output 24 hours a day, 7 days a week throughout the entire tournament.
What a magnificent finish!
UEFA Euro 2024 Germany, coming soon to Talksport and Talksport 2.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
It's been an incredible season at the top of the Championship, but the most significant moments are still to come. Chair, though, comes in field onto the right foot. Low shot from him. Oh, what a brilliant goal from Elias Chair. A moment of inspiration which could mean survival for Queen's Park Rangers and promotion for Leicester City.
I mean, that is a brilliant finish first and foremost, but that is such a mess from Leeds United.
But here is Willock finding Anderson. He skips in field. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Lucas Anderson, curling the ball in left-footed. 2 goals for Queen's Park Rangers within 21 minutes, and Leicester fans must be celebrating as well. The champagne is on ice for them, and Leeds United are in all sorts of trouble.
You've got to love a Friday night in the capital. A brilliant first half performance from Queen's Park Rangers. They played with wanton abandon, and they have 45 minutes from confirming their spot in the Championship for next season and driving a stake through the heart of Leeds United's automatic promotion hopes. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds 0 at the break, live and exclusive here on Talksport 2. Other live sport tonight in Superliga, Lee lead Catalans by 6 points to 2 at the break. Hull KR 18-0 up on Wigan, and Castleford 30 points to 0 ahead against London Broncos. And one game in the Gallagher Premiership 2 tonight. Two teams pushing for the playoff places. Saracens lead 12 points to 0 away at Bath. Remember, live football continues here on the Talksport Network tomorrow. We'll have a feast for you as well as we bring you the final day of the League One season. We've got the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg between Chelsea and Barcelona, that trip for Ipswich to Hull in the Championship, and just the 3 live and exclusive Premier League matches for you as well. You will not want to miss a second of the action.
Kudus on the edge of the penalty area, waits for the run of Sofal. Sofal pulls it back. Bowen is there again. This is unbelievable. Jared Bowen. Here's the free kick to be taken by Alexander-Arnold, right-footed towards the far corner. Oh, what a goal! That is fantastic.
There's the ball over the top. Isak's in on goal here. Cuts onto his right foot. Going to pull the trigger now and finds the bottom corner. Alexander Isak lights up St James's Park.
Slides it down the left-hand side of the box for Osborne. Brereton Diaz stabs it home.
Quickly on from Diaby to Watkins down the left channel. Cuts in on his right foot. Skips past 2 times his right foot. He draws towards the near post. It's another brilliant Ollie Watkins goal. Gives the ball to Pickford, and then Pickford's given it away. And then Palmer for the hat-trick. Lifts it over him. And in, without doubt, Chelsea's best acquisition is Cole Palmer.
Another fantastic day ahead of us tomorrow. Loads of great live action for you on TalkSport exclusively tomorrow, 12:30. West Ham against Liverpool. Resmin Chowdhury alongside Sam Matterface and the former England captain Stuart Pearce. From 2:30, Adrian Durham has game day live for you with all the goals as they go in the Premier League Championship and the final day of the League 2 season as well. And also at 8 p.m, we will have Aston Villa against Chelsea exclusively for you on TalkSport 2. Faker Others, Joe Shellan and the former England defender Mickey Gray are with you for that one. It is a busy day too on TalkSport 2. We will start with Derby County taking on Carlisle tomorrow on the final day of the League One season, 12:30 kickoff. A host of reporters, by the way, across the country bringing you the most important scorelines from the games that matter. Ian Danter and Chris Uolumo at Pride Park for commentary between Derby and Carlisle. The Rams will be aiming to secure automatic promotion back into the Championship. I was very lucky to be joined by the Derby County captain Conor Hourihane on EFL All Access earlier this week. He said this is what promotion would mean to him.
It'd be huge. You know, I'm not getting any younger now, so to get any promotion at this stage of my career, it would be absolutely terrific. So, you know, that was a huge goal of mine when I kind of came to Derby. Look, when I signed here, coming to the end of my second season now, you know, fortunately enough for myself, you know, I've been in League 2, played all the way to the Premier League. And when you get that little bit older, you're like, right, what can I kind of go and do and hopefully achieve in your later part in your career? And Derby were kind of in a little bit of a tough place. They were in a complete rebuilding process, and the whole kind of challenge excited me and I wanted to be a part of. So if it's the case to be kind of get over the line and to cap off that 2-year stay that I've been at the club so far, it would be amazing, because it's been the main goal of mine to get to be a part of something to get the club back to the Championship.
Conor Hourihane there, the Derby County captain. He will be very much hopeful of going up against Carlisle. They'll be very big favourites in that game. 12:30 here on TalkSport 2. At 3 o'clock, we'll have Premier League action. Newcastle taking on West Ham, not available on UK TV, so make sure you're with us for that one. At 5:30, it's Chelsea against Barcelona in the Women's Champions League semi-final, and then that game between Hull and Ipswich in the Championship is live here at 8 p.m. We will also have possibly a title party on Monday night as Leicester take on Preston in the Championship, but it all depends on events at the MKM Stadium on Saturday night. Also tonight at Loftus Road, Queen's Park Rangers, very healthy lead at the break, 2-0 against Leeds United. Will there be changes for Daniel Farker? Will there be changes for Martí Cifuentes, for that matter, as he tries to hold on to a lead and a vital point? That's all they need, Queen's Park Rangers, to stay in the Championship for one more year. Let's head over to our second half commentary. Sam Parkin, the former Ipswich striker, is alongside Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Hugh. No changes to either side at half-time, and it's Leeds in change strip, which is predominantly pink, who get the second half underway, defending the goal away to our left-hand side. Queen's Park Rangers leading by 2-0 in their blue and white hoops. Their team is Begovic in goal, Dunn, Clark, Salter, Parl and Colback, the back four. Colback and Field in midfield, with Cook at the heart of the back four, with Willock, Anderson and Chair supporting Dykes in attack. The Leeds team, Meslier in goal, Byram, Ampadu, Roden and Firpo, Gruev and Gray in midfield, Nonto, Ruta and Somerville behind Peru in attack. And we talked a lot about Leeds in the first half, Sam, but what do you think Martí Cifuentes will have been saying to his team at half-time?
Well, I think he'd be really encouraged by the performance, try and stay on the front foot.
But here is Nonto coming forward now for Leeds. If they can score the next goal in the game, should there be one, then the atmosphere inside this stadium in front of a crowd of 16,677 here tonight would be very different. But Leeds have given the ball away again. Dykes plays it forward, looking for Willock, but it's cut out by the Bulgarian Gruev. And now on the far side, Field with a challenge to Rob Firpo, but it's claimed by Somerville. Coming in field from the left-hand side. Plays a 1-2 with Firpo. Then spreads it wide towards the right-hand side. And Byram with the cross in. A glancing header from Ruta is some way wide.
Yeah, quite similar to the chance for Dykes in the first half. Opposite side, but again, coming away from the goal. It's a really difficult header. Nice delivery. Floated in towards Ruta, but it's got to be something special to beat Begovic from there.
And it will be a goal kick for Queen's Park Rangers, leading by 2-0 here. Leicester on their way up tonight as it stands, and Queen's Park Rangers will be safe. And we have all of the issues to sort out on the final day of the League One and League Two season tomorrow as Anderson plays it forward. Some interesting news from League Two tonight. Morecambe have put out a statement saying their players have not been paid on time today. And due to the uncertainty, a number of first-team players have expressed concerns about playing Swindon tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. As Chair comes forward now for Queen's Park Rangers, crossed in from the left-hand side. It takes a deflection behind off Byram, and it might be a corner for Queen's Park Rangers, and it is.
There's Rodon coming out to engage Elias Chair, and he put it in quickly, just tried to feed it towards the far post where Lyndon Dykes was arriving, but Leeds able to scramble it away.
First corner in the second half for Queen's Park Rangers here, leading by 2-0 on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. One more goal, and that surely settles it. A corner kick on this near side. Cook and Clark Salter are both forward. Leeds have every single player inside their own penalty area defending this. The corner in towards the far post, glanced away by Gray, but gathered by Chair on the edge of the penalty area. The early cross back in. It's nodded down by Clark Salter, but he got his bearings all wrong inside the penalty area and heads it some yards wide.
Yeah, Lyndon Dykes was better placed behind him. That's the conversation they're having now. Dykes possibly could have taken that down on his chest and maybe been able to finish with his second touch. So that was a good opportunity. Three players actually queuing up for Rangers at the far post, completely unmarked.
4 minutes played in the second half. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0 here. As Somerville comes forward now for Leeds, finds Firpo down the left-hand side, but the cross has been blocked by Dunn, and it will be a throw-in for Leeds on the far side. Gray comes short, but it's back to Somerville. Somerville beyond the challenge of Anderson, and then he curls it wide to this near side, and Byram, first time down the line for Nonto. Down the right, Nonto comes back in field. Byram with a cross in which is very deep. A back header away at the far post by Dunn. Willock will try and bring the ball clear, but it's won back by Firpo, and then Ampadu has his pocket picked by Dykes on the far side, and it will be a throw-in to Leeds United, who have not really made the sort of start to the second half that I'm sure Daniel Farke was looking for. Gruev now, wide towards this near side, the right, and Sam Byram. If Leeds lose this game, they will have 90 points with one game to play at home to Southampton next week. Ipswich would be a point behind them, and they have 2 games in hand, both live on Talksport 2 at Hull tomorrow night and Coventry next Thursday. As the ball played down the line now for Gray, low into the penalty area, looking for Ruta at the near post, scramble behind by Cook, and it will be a corner kick for Leeds United.
That's where sometimes QPR get themselves into difficulty. They don't have anyone to stretch the game at all. All the front four, if you like, want the ball to feet, want the ball to be able to manipulate away from people rather than running into that space, which they kind of need right now with Leeds United pushing. Good movement from Archie Gray, really forthright, and great block from Steve Cook on the cover.
Now Nonto on the edge of the penalty area, fires in a shot which has been blocked. Somerville now will gather on the edge of the penalty area, wide towards Ampadu again. Ampadu fires in the cross towards the near post. It takes a deflection and it's put wide by Ruta. What an opportunity, 7 yards out on the turn. That really had to go in for Leeds.
Yeah, terrific play from Ampadu on the overlap, left-hand side, and he put it into a brilliant position. QPR panicked, scrambling, falls nicely for Ruta, and once he steadies himself with that touch, yes, there's bodies flying in to try and get the deflection, try and get the block, but should have scored, possibly even set that back where 2 Leeds United players were really well placed.
6 minutes played in the second half. Queen's Park Rangers leading here by 2-0. And now Dunn has been fouled on the far side by Firpo, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. And of course we cover all aspects of the EFL here on Talksport 2, and if you go to one of your former club Swindon tomorrow, you may get a game for Morecambe. It's not a good situation. The club was assured by the owners throughout the month that funding would be there to pay the wages. That's not happened, and in many ways you could understand why a number of players would be reluctant to play.
Yeah, I heard Rawson, the captain, talking about it. I think he's the captain, or certainly talking about it a week or so ago, about the ownership difficulties they're having there, so it's problematic. Swindon do need all the help they can get, though, Nigel, if I'm allowed to say that at the moment.
Well, Morecambe were a team who were challenging for the playoffs for much of the season, but things fell away fairly badly for them. And we wish the fans well, because they're always the ones who are seemingly powerless and often caught in the middle of this.
Of course, they've had some good times, haven't they? I remember playing up there at the new stadium probably a decade or so ago. Good side under Jim Bentley.
Yeah,
they've had some really good times. Derek Adams as well. Good managers.
Yeah, Joe Brannan in charge there now. Somebody of a very good playing pedigree. 7 minutes into the second half here at Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers leading Leeds by 2-0. And it's maybe slightly surprising that Daniel Farke did not choose to roll the dice at half-time and make some changes. As Peru clips field, 15 yards inside the Queen's Park Rangers half, and it will be a free kick for the R's, who are heading towards safety in some style here at the moment.
Yeah, you think that obviously the Bamford injury just diminishes their options somewhat, because it would have been Peru or him probably coming in to just give a slightly different feel to that Leeds forward line. I mean, I do like Joseph. I saw him at Stamford Bridge get a couple of goals. He's a goal scorer, no question about it. And his opportunities have been really limited, but in need of a goal, I'm sure he will get some game time tonight.
Scored a very late equaliser at Watford as well on Good Friday. His first league goal after those 2 in the Cup at Chelsea, when he did play very well. And if Leeds need to be slightly more direct here, he would surely be the player they would bring on, although there is much more to his game than simply height.
Yeah, Anthony would be another one, I'm sure. That's a bit more of a like-for-like change maybe for one of the wide guys if they continue to not be impacting the game as normally they would do.
But they're missing Dan James tonight, you feel. Maybe just something different in the wide areas. Anderson with the free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. Cleared as far as Chair on the edge of the box. Wide to Paul. Back in field towards Chair again. Rangers going backwards now away from the penalty area, but they maintain possession. Here is Anderson again. A good ball down the line on the far side for Willock, who can hit the byline here. Looks to go beyond Firpo. Firpo, though, manages to deflect the ball away, but the ball had gone behind, and it will be a corner here for Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, there's a frustration from Lyndon Dykes there. I thought that was perfect. When Anderson plays that through the gap, it's on for Willock just to stride onto it and deliver first time. Whip it into the box for the centre forward, turn down that opportunity, try to drive to the byline. Leeds able to recover.
A corner kick here for Queen's Park Rangers, leading by 2-0 on a night when they can secure survival here with a win. And it's a victory that would have real consequences for Leeds United. Anderson with the corner towards the near post. Dykes controls, plays it back out wide towards Anderson again, who tries to skip away from the challenge on the far side, but Rutter does well to win the ball back initially. He was then caught by Anderson, who was gone down and stayed down following the challenge from Rutter. And it will be a free kick though for Leeds United for the original challenge, but Anderson is down, rolling around, clutching his face. And we're just watching the replay here in the press box, and it was a flailing arm from Rutter, but I didn't really see too much intent there.
No, similar to the couple that Lonto was on the receiving end for in the first half. Yeah, I think just taking an elbow in the eye maybe. He'll be fine. He's had a good evening so far.
1,816 Leeds United fans here tonight, and they are not enjoying what they're seeing, with their team trailing by 2-0. And one of the promotion places on offer will be going tonight to Leicester City if it stays like this. So many big games coming up tomorrow. We have Hull against Ipswich tomorrow night on Talksport 2 at 8 o'clock. As it's played wide to this near side for Leeds and Byram. And now Peru again. And a monster of a game tomorrow at the bottom. Huddersfield against Birmingham. Two of the bottom three. The two in the bottom three that haven't gone down already. Now Byram again for Leeds on this near side. Plays a 1-2 with Nonto. Back out wide towards Nonto. And Leeds are beginning to work their passing triangles, but they're not really applying too much pressure here on the Queen's Park Rangers side, who have been fairly comfortable since half-time, bar that opportunity for Rutter. Now Rutter on the edge of the penalty area, able to ride one challenge, plays a good ball wide to Firpo on the left, tries to work it in first time towards Nonto inside the penalty area, but Dunn nips in to make the challenge, and it will be a throw-in to Leeds. And the change is going to be made for Queen's Park Rangers, and it's Lucas Anderson who will come off, and Paul Smith, the Northern Ireland international, who will come on.
Yeah, it feels like quite an obvious change to be made at some stage. A little bit surprised given how early we are in the second period, and given that Anderson scored his first goal for the club tonight. But yeah, he's played really well again. Different player coming on, real pace, real mobility, and will probably just change the setup of the QPR front line.
And Paul Smith, in his second spell at Queen's Park Rangers, of course, came through the academy here and then moved on to Orient, helped them to promotion from League Two last season before he was then re-signed. Throw in for Leeds on the far side. And there were appeals for offside as Somerville gathered a loose ball, but play continues, and Leeds will try and work it now down the left with Rutter. Low cross into the penalty area though. Superb covering challenge from Cook. It will be a corner, but that really is Steve Cook at his very best.
Yeah, really good play. Firpo's kind of in a central midfield position there, linking it with Rutter. Lovely exchange, but again, a couple of big blocks second half from Steve Cook.
Somerville with the corner towards the near post. Challenging was Firpo. And as he and Field lunged in, the final touch was off the Dominican Republic international, and it will be a goal kick for Queen's Park Rangers, who are counting down the minutes here. Half an hour to play, and I'm sure Leicester City fans are in a similar situation, with promotion now very much on the agenda here tonight. It's cleared downfield by Begovic for Queen's Park Rangers. Hooked on by Dunn. And then Field nods it forward. Dykes does well to head it wide towards Smith down the right-hand side, but it's beyond him, and it will be a throw-in for Leeds United. But there is now genuine width for Queen's Park Rangers on both sides, and with Smith on the field, Chair will have a bit more freedom to maybe pop up in central areas, as a Queen's Park Rangers player has gone down and stayed down on the far side as they tangled with Junior Firpo.
I mentioned 10 minutes ago, Nigel, there's no pace in this QPR lineup, as good as they've been first half. Now, with the majority of the ball and the play going to be in QPR's defensive half, they can go a little bit longer. They can get Smith running behind and try and get up the pitch that way. Before, it's all got to be intricate, little passing moves, technical players. They've got real dynamism on the right-hand side now, and that's clever. The game is won, essentially, at 2-0. Just go a little bit longer, maybe, with your play.
And it was Smith who went down there. He was caught trying to go beyond Firpo with the ball actually off the field of play. The Rangers coming forward again now with Dunn, the home crowd urging him to shoot after that goal against Birmingham City here. Now Chair down the left-hand side. There's always a buzz around Loftus Road when he's on the ball, and he's beyond the challenge of Byram. Elias Chair continues, right foot shot deflected wide, and that would have finished things off. Meslier was nowhere there, but the deflection was kind for Leeds on this occasion.
Yeah, he did well. Rode a couple of challenges, just tiptoed infield. You think that he's going to let fly and bend it towards the far post. He actually struck it with real venom. Ampadu covering the target. Risky, could have gone anywhere, but it's a real important intervention.
Corner kick on this near side for Queen's Park Rangers. 61 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Rangers leading Leeds by 2-0. And this is a very significant scoreline at both ends of the table. Elias Chair will take the corner. High towards the far post. Meslier was nowhere. Colback with the shot, and it's deflected behind. It was inches wide, and Rangers so close to a third goal.
It's a brilliant delivery. I mean, it's scrambled clear, isn't it, between goalkeeper and defenders at the far post. For a moment, it looked like it was going to swing in underneath the crossbar. Rode on, half cleared it, and Colback with another opportunity for QPR.
Corner's played short again. Chair with the high ball in there with two Rangers players waiting, but in the end the flag is raised for offside. But Leeds' defending of set pieces at times this evening has been shambolic, and now they are making a change, and it's Sam Byram coming off and Matteo Joseph who was coming on. And that was a change that many Leeds fans would have anticipated, possibly at half-time, as we will see Gray presumably will go to right back, with Matteo Joseph leading the line with Peru just behind him, or even possibly Ruta and Joseph playing alongside each other. Leeds have got to force the issue here to find a way back into this game, as Clark Salter beats Ruta in the air. Chair finding Field. Field works it wide to the far side, and Willock has got the pace on the outside of Smith down the right. The cross into the near post, headed away by Ampadu, and Leeds initially make heavy weather of the clearance, but it's played wide by Gruev towards the far side, and then Somerville has been hauled to the ground by Field, and it will be a free kick for Leeds United and a yellow card for Jack Colback for dissent.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nigel. It looked like the system didn't have to change, really. You thought the 4-1-4-1 maybe could come into play, but it's almost like a diamond midfield, but the two wide ones are really going to keep their width. It looks like Gruev's just going to be in the anchor midfield, and Piru's going to play behind a front two, which is, it was all in, and that's what it needs to be, doesn't it, even at this early stage of the second half.
Well, they're 2 goals down in a game they've got to win, so they've got to take risks, Leeds here. Of course, there's always tomorrow in the Championship, but as far as the regular season is concerned, it's Southampton next week, and then that's it for Leeds. Leicester, of course, will be promoted if it stays like this. Gruev forward to Joseph, and now Somerville. Infield to Nonto in a central area. Joseph takes over again, plays it wide to Ruta, forced wide by the pace of the ball, but Ruta does well to initially keep the ball in play, but then runs it behind, and it's a goal kick, and nothing is going right for Leeds here.
Yeah, there's an extra body in that forward line there, so there was good options. When they moved the ball, it was nice and slick initially, just overran it. Crucial moment, Ruta, with plenty of players in support, and that's going to probably be a glimpse of what we're going to see across the next 25 minutes.
You're listening to Queen's Park Rangers against Leeds in the EFL Championship, live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Now Roden has got time to bring it forward up to the halfway line. Ruta allows it to run. Here is Somerville. Firpo on the overlap. Somerville will find Firpo. Needs a good cross. It is towards Joseph, and brave goalkeeping at the near post by Begovic. A goal kick's being given, but that's the sort of movement and the sort of intent that Daniel Farke's been looking for.
Well, firstly, it's a terrible decision. How the referee has decided this is a goal kick is anyone's guess. I mean, Joseph gets a slight touch, then there's a huge ricochet off the goalkeeper, I believe. Yeah, off his foot. I mean, that's a terrible decision from the officials, but great move from Leeds down the left-hand side. Firpo and Somerville have hardly been in tandem like that, in unison, but they link up brilliantly, and Joseph, I think he's a goal scorer, sniffs out a good opportunity at the near post there.
Smith tangling with Roden on the far side, but no free kick given, although Smith went down, although he's come back up smiling. And we have played 66 minutes here on Talksport 2, and Leeds are still 2 goals down here, and Asmir Begovic has not really had a shot to save in the second half, as Meslier has to produce a hurried clearance following Roden's scooped back pass towards him, and it's straight out of play on the far side, and it will be a throw into Queen's Park Rangers. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 12:30 on Talksport, West Ham against Liverpool. Here on Talksport 2, Derby against Carlisle, the final day of the League One season. Game day live with Adrian Durham, Alvin Martin and Perry Groves over on Talksport. All the goals as they go in from the Premier League, the Championship, and the final day of the League 2 season. Newcastle against Sheffield United will be here at 3 o'clock with Adam Bridge and Simon Grayson, followed by Chelsea against Barcelona, the Women's Champions League semi-final second leg. Chelsea a goal up. And then at 8 o'clock, a choice of listening, Villa-Chelsea on Talksport, Hull-Ipswich here on Talksport 2. All coming up tomorrow on the Talksport network, your home of football, and all of the big games coming up here in the closing weeks of the season. Chair with a free kick into the penalty area, cleared away as far as Parl. Back up wide towards Chair with the gold boots again, down the line, seeking out Willock. Gray, though, will head the ball away. And it's given away by Leeds cheaply again. Field now, right-hand side, slipped in towards Chair inside the penalty area. Just missed control, then turned, fired in the shot, which is deflected and loops high over the top. But at the moment, if there is to be another goal in this game, Queen's Park Rangers look the more likely goal scorers.
Yeah, Sam Field, lovely pass into the feet of Ilias Chair, right-hand side of the box on that occasion. Looked like he collected it and was going to get in one-on-one for the finish. Had to wriggle because his first touch let him down onto his left side. Blocked at the source. Yet another corner for Ilias Chair's right foot to deliver.
Chair will take it as the volume is turned up around Loftus Road once again. 21 minutes to play. 2-0 to Queen's Park Rangers. Chair's delivery headed away by Roden, almost gathered by Colback inside the penalty area. Here is Smith now, wide on the right-hand side. Looks to skip away from the challenge of Peru towards the byline. Delivers a low cross in, but Gruev is able to measure the clearance, but onto the head of Cook. And in the end, it's all a bit scrappy, but that suits Queen's Park Rangers as Colback just hammers it out of play, and it will be a throw into Leeds on the far side. Leicester are going up tonight if it stays like this, and at the moment Leeds do not look like a team about to score 3 goals here, Sam.
No, they've not been able to have that spell of concerted pressure, have they, in the second half? There's been sporadic opportunities, the good one for Rutter, but they've been unable to put QPR under real pressure, which absolutely suits the home side, and also I think encapsulates the growth really in the defensive unit throughout this season.
Queen's Park Rangers coming forward again now with Smith on the right-hand side. Works the 1-2 with Willock. Looks to hit the byline, and in the end, Meslier has to come out and slide the ball behind for a corner. Smith there was so quick. He seemed to have no chance of getting that ball, but he put the afterburners on, and Meslier had to scamper.
Yeah, no one else in QPR side would have made that. They would have given it up. He's so quick over that first 10 yards. Make something of nothing, and QPR looking really dangerous from these set pieces. Even the second phase, really. Even if Leeds win the first header, it looks like QPR are alert, and they're invariably getting to that knockdown.
In front of the Stamboul stand, the current number 10, Elias Chair, plays the corner into the penalty area, poked towards goal. Again, the defending wasn't convincing. It was Dunn who fired the shot in. He then tries to deliver a cross, but he's penalised for a push on Roden, and it will be a free kick. And at the moment, Leeds look toothless. 19 minutes to play. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Leeds United 0 here on Talksport 2. And after all of their recent issues, it looks like Leicester will be up with 2 games to spare, like everyone thought they would be.
It's been a funny couple of months, hasn't it? I mean, from possible record breakers, highest point haul ever, and what have you. We were talking about early part of the season. It's been a real struggle, it feels, the last few weeks, but yeah, still on their day. They've been an outstanding watch this season, and looks like they're going to get the job done.
Well, Southampton could get 90 points, Leeds could get 93 points, and neither could go up. Ipswich, of course, currently on 89 points, and they've still got 3 games to play. As Willock comes forward now for Queen's Park Rangers down the left, the cross in looking for Dykes, and in the end Ampadu gets there first, but all he can do is scramble the ball behind for a corner. I think there was a canny nudge there from Dykes on Ampadu, and that was enough just to knock the defender off balance.
Yeah, maybe just try to usher him to the side, because he was aware that Smith was peeling around the back of him completely unmarked there. So yeah, Dykes, good awareness, unselfishly just trying to make an opportunity for the substitute.
Another corner for Chair on this near side. Leeds have pulled everybody back once again. On a night they need goals, they are 2 goals down. Chair's corner towards the near post, glanced on, and that settles it. It's 3-0. Lyndon Dykes with the goal, and his congratulations to Leeds United, to Leicester City. They are promoted to the Premier League. Leeds beaten here by 3-0. They, it seems, will have to win and hope on the final day.
Well, he deserves that. Absolutely deserves that, Lyndon Dykes, for his performance this evening. So unselfish. It's an ugly task at times, and QPR have been so dangerous from these set pieces. He just peels into the front of the 6-yard box, away from his marker. Great delivery, as you expect from Chair. Little bump on Joseph, the substitute. He wants a free kick. You're not going to get that, I'm afraid. And then it's just about the direction, getting it down off the turf. Meslier can't react in time. QPR absolutely flying, and reward for what's been a really, really dominant 10-15 minute spell.
3-0, 17 minutes to play, and there is no way back for Leeds here. Lyndon Dykes, who scored his first goal in 16 games against Preston, now has goals in back-to-back games at a key stage of the season. And everybody has turned up here for Queen's Park Rangers today. And Leeds have been lacking all over the field, and many of their fans are on their way home.
Yeah, they threatened, didn't they, towards the tail end of the first half, and again there's been couple of chances maybe in this second half, but again not sustained control of the game, and periods where they've been able to rack up opportunities. And QPR have responded after a pretty even start to the second half. QPR turned it on again. Last 10, 15 minutes, as you said, Nigel, at the start maybe of that spell, they looked the most likely to go and get the third goal in this game, and that's how it's proved.
Well, I remind you, the last time Leicester had real success in the league as Nonto delivers the ball into the penalty area. When they won the Premier League title, that was ultimately decided in West London as well, across at Stamford Bridge. And here at Loftus Road, their promotion will be sealed here tonight.
Yeah, round to Jamie Vardy's, wasn't it? I think on that evening.
Might be the same tonight.
It might suit them nicely playing Monday. You know, that's worked out beautifully. If this is going to be the end for Leeds United and going to be Leicester's start of their party this evening.
Well, the Leeds fans stood silent away to our right. Ruta looks to spin away from a turn, plays it wide to this near side, and Gray with a low cross into the penalty area, and it's swept away. And Leeds here have had no answer right throughout the game. And it could get worse for them here. Willock plays it wide to this near side and Chair. And there was Paul Smith in acres of space on the far side, but they couldn't find him.
Yeah, very unlike Chris Willock. Just had to get his head up, turn, little touch to the right hand side. He would have seen the switch. Smith with his dynamism, he would have been away. I mean, this will get nervy still, I'm telling you, Nigel, if Leeds were to get one at this stage. But as you said, it's very, very open, and QPR looking as lightly on the counter, even though Leeds are pressing.
Somerville coming forward now, and of course Queen's Park Rangers will be sealing safety here tonight as well. Ampadu sweeps it wide to the far side, the cross into the penalty area, looking for Joseph, met by Cook. Now Nonto. Leeds have got so many attacking players on the field now, but they've been undone by a set piece. Ruta on the edge of the penalty area, turns into trouble. Field plays the ball away. Now Chair over the top, looking for the run of Dykes. Dykes, though, beaten to it by Ampadu, and he will guide it all the way back to Meslier.
It's the thing, Nigel, not to say that they've been at it in terms of their solidity without the ball to shape throughout the evening, but when you get all your forward players on there, it's a gamble, isn't it? Because you lose a little bit of that control, or even more of that control. But the necessity to get your goal scorers on the pitch was so great, had to do it.
Now Nonto coming forward, looks to drive down the centre but overruns it, and it's gathered by Begovic. And it shouldn't really be an issue, but Leeds' goal difference is getting a bit of a hammering here. It goes down to minus 40 as it stands. Ipswich's is plus 32, but will Ipswich get a couple of big wins between now and the end of the season? I suppose that's the issue there, maybe. There'll be a few changes to be made on both sides in the next few moments as Leeds try and come forward now with Ruta. He's challenged though, and it will be a free kick for them. 25 yards out, left of centre. 3-0, Queen's Park Rangers lead. And Leeds United, it looks like, will be in a straight shootout with Ipswich for the final place behind Leicester, or alongside Leicester. And Jadon Anthony will be coming on for Leeds along with Joe Gelhardt, and it's Jorginho Ruta who is going off. So Gelhardt will come on to replace him. And Anthony is also coming on. Somerville going off. So that's Daniel Farker saying that's that.
Yeah, some displeasure from the Leeds United supporters. I'm not sure if that was because the nature of the substitutions or the performance levels of the two that had departed, but yeah, understandably not pleased by what they're seeing.
Well, the away end is beginning to empty here with Leeds 3 down. Peru is over the free kick and he hits it left-footed, and it's miles off the target.
Just going back to that challenge, I think that was a bit of a let-off for Sam Field. It was a decision I'm sure he thought about when Ruto got goal side of him to bring him down. I think maybe the referee was probably already thinking about those substitutions, knowing that the board was about to go up, and didn't brandish the yellow card. I thought it was a booking.
But it's a night when it's all gone right for Queen's Park Rangers, leading here by 3-0. And we have 11 minutes to play. And unless we see a remarkable recovery here from Leeds United, Queen's Park Rangers are safe and Leicester are promoted. And at the moment, it's a brilliant night for Leicester City, and it's not a bad night for Ipswich either, is it?
Great night.
They're under pressure. They've got 2 difficult away games coming up, but they know, it's a situation 1 point behind with 2 games in hand. You take that at this stage.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's been incredible that they've been able to stay the pace, really, with the 2 teams down from the Premier League. They've done phenomenally well, and yeah, I mean, any Ipswich fan to take it to the last 3 games, irrelevant of what happened, but now they've got a phenomenal opportunity of being in the Premier League. What a story.
Jake Clark-Salter is the first player to make way. Isaac Hayden is also coming on for Jack Colback. The Rangers here have also brought on Morgan Fox for the closing 10 minutes or so. Now Somerville. Wide on the far side for Leeds. And it's lofted forward into the path of Peru. Peru's got Joseph inside, but it's back towards Gelhardt. Gelhardt onto the left foot, fires in the shot, but it's deflected behind, and it will be a corner for Leeds.
Yeah, good feet. Opened up the opportunity on his left side. Nice little bit of skill, but QPR players ever willing to throw bodies in front of the ball.
Well, Joe Gelhardt was in the Sunderland team, which lost to Luton in the playoffs last season. And Leeds will be desperate to avoid the playoff experience again after the problems they've had in recent years. As Willock loses out to Joseph on this near side, but it's all very tight. In the end, Gruev has lost out. Queen's Park Rangers will try and bring the ball away. And all of the game changers on the pitch tonight have been wearing blue and white hoops, haven't they? Leeds have offered very little, really.
Yeah, and I doubted whether QPR would have had the ability, that desire to produce another performance after everything it would have taken to get that really important win over Preston last Saturday. But this has been a very, very complete performance. They've made Leeds look really ordinary, and again just hammers home the point, really. The improvement under Cifuentes. It would have been desperately unlucky had QPR been relegated, given their form second half of the season.
Well, it won't happen now. 53 points. They'll be looking up towards mid-table. They've got Coventry away on the final day. Now Dykes out-muscles Roden. Roden rather throws up his arms there in frustration as Rangers come forward again now. On the far side was Smith. Beyond Jayden Anthony. Not once but twice, and then Smith tries to also go beyond Junior Firpo, but Firpo comes away with the ball, and we have 7.5 minutes to play here. Queen's Park Rangers 3, Leeds United 0. Leicester City are heading back to the Premier League at the first attempt. And they will travel to Preston, live on Talksport 2 on Monday, with all of the pressure lifted from their shoulders. Leeds looking to move it forward again here, but they look a beaten side, and they've looked like that for some time, we have to say. As Nonto fires a shot in from the edge of the penalty area. Good position, but no real power. Comfortable save for Begovic.
Yeah, in the context of the second half, that's a reasonable opportunity for Nonto on his left side. Tired effort, didn't catch it at all, and Begovic saves it comfortably. Just saw a shot of Steve Clark on the monitor. Nigel, not a bad night for Lyndon Dykes to arguably have his best performance of the season.
Well, he will have the Euros on his mind very soon with Scotland. But Leeds United may have to focus on the playoffs, so we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Ipswich could lose their upcoming 2 games, and it would be all down to the final day, with Leeds at home to Southampton and Ipswich at home to Huddersfield.
It's going to be interesting to see what type of nick Ipswich are in start of the game tomorrow, having had that kind of enforced break.
Well, this won't do them any harm, though, will it?
Oh, absolutely not. No, if you can't, I mean, if ever you're going to be like ridiculously motivated, fired up for any game, yeah, you've got to keep that, relative composure when you take to the field. But they'll be absolutely buzzing this evening and won't be able to get out there tomorrow. Won't wait to be able to get out there. You think tomorrow's an incredibly difficult game. I just think maybe Coventry's race will be run by that fixture, and how much as the chase.
But as it stands, they can afford to lose one of those games.
Yeah, of course.
Potentially.
And Huddersfield could be down, couldn't they, last night?
Yeah. So we've all said, they've got to win these 2 games.
Yeah.
And that might not necessarily be the case now. Of course, if they do, it will be massively in their hands going into the final day. In fact, it will all be over.
Yeah, 5 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed.
So many permutations to sort out on the final week of the season. Free kick here for Queen's Park Rangers on the far side. Chair's delivery high into the penalty area, and it's number 4. And this time it's Sam Field. And the champagne corks will be popping all over Leicester. The Foxes are returning to the Premier League. And it's thanks to a stellar performance from Queen's Park Rangers. Leeds have fallen apart again. And this, their worst performance of the season at the worst possible time. Queen's Park Rangers 4, Leeds United 0. It's survival for Queen's Park Rangers, and it's promotion to the Premier League for Leicester City.
Well, how many headers of QPR won inside the Leeds United 18-yard box tonight? The delivery is sublime, absolutely brilliant from Chair once more. The header is a wonderful one. It's quite central, but there's real pace on it. Melier can get a palm on it, but he can't divert it away from the target. It goes into the top corner of the net. It's a beautiful sight for QPR supporters. That is well and truly that. It's been a formidable performance from the home side. Leeds have been absolutely demolished in West London tonight.
4-0. 3.5 minutes to play. Leicester City are promoted thanks to an incredible performance from Queen's Park Rangers. Sinclair Armstrong is coming on for the final few moments for Queen's Park Rangers. Lyndon Dykes is the player who's gone off. He's played his part here tonight. And Chris Woollick will also make way. And Albert Adoma comes on. 5 years ago this weekend, he scored that uncontested goal for Aston Villa at Leeds in one of the more unusual stories in the Championship. I don't think he'll get one here tonight. Glenn Kamara has also come on for Leeds United at the base of their midfield. And they've been a shambles at times second half, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, they needed to get the goal in the early part of the second period and never looked likely, really, since that Ruter chance went wide of the post. QPR have been the better side, haven't they? Maybe 5-10 minutes, Leeds came into it, and then for the remainder, only really been one team in it and looked dangerous. The creative players, the top players in QPR blue and white, excellent. 8s, 9s out of 10. Across the board, though, really, again, marshalled incredibly well by Cook and Clark-Salter, and it's been a really, really lackadaisical performance from Leeds.
Well, the away end is emptying rapidly here. Daniel Farker stands there, arms folded on the touchline. It has all gone wrong for Leeds here tonight. In a match they had to win, they are 4-0 down. I wonder what Russell Martin makes of this. Is he still here?
Seen enough.
He's seen enough. They always go with 15 minutes to go, don't they? Beat the traffic. He and Matt Gill, his assistant. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen Russell Martin without Matt Gill in any circumstances. Gelhardt fires a shot in for Leeds from the edge of the penalty area, and it's over the top, and the Leeds fans can now be counted in their hundreds. And not many of them.
It's sore night. They knew what they had to do. They knew that they had to win these 2 games this week. They fell well short of their best tonight. There was moments in the first period where you saw that invention in the forward players, but yeah, every unit in QPR's 11 have been better than their counterparts tonight. It's been very, very complete performance from the home side.
Into the 90th minute. I'm sure the champagne is already flowing in Leicester. They've known for some time they are heading back to the Premier League. But Leeds' finish to the season is now clouded in uncertainty as Armstrong chases forward now. They will see what happens, but if Ipswich win their 2 games at Hull and Coventry, they too will be promoted. That's what's on the line for them now. And there will be a minimum of 6 more minutes to prolong the agony here for Leeds United. Field gathers now for Rangers. Wide towards Albert Adoma on this near side. Sinclair Armstrong ahead of him. Armstrong now left-hand side of the penalty area is offside. Look along the line.
Yeah, forgive me for not knowing his contractual situation, but I would presume these may be Albert Adoma, self-confessed QPR supporters, last minutes on the Loftus Road pitch.
Well, he's
certainly got a nice welcome and a nice rendition of his song when he took to the pitch tonight. And
well, he's had a great career.
Oh, yeah.
Promoted, of course, with Aston Villa 5 years ago. But Leeds here will need to lift themselves, and by the next time they play, they could be looking at the playoffs. If Ipswich win against Hull and Coventry tomorrow night, the game at Hull on Talksport 2, the game against Coventry also on Talksport 2 next Tuesday, that's it, it's done. And we were talking about a thrilling final day, and it could all be about who's in the playoffs. As it's played wide to this near side, and Shackleton for Leeds, but cut out by Adoma. And we were having a chat with Don Goodman in the press room before kick-off, one of our television colleagues, of course, former Championship striker, and he made the point that you look at teams that have won the playoffs in recent years, they've won them after a really good end to the season. They've got that momentum, and at the moment Leeds have no momentum.
Yeah, and Phil Hay said 5 playoff campaigns, isn't it, Leeds United? 0 promotions.
Yeah.
So,
look, things can change.
Yeah.
Ipswich lose tomorrow night, and there is massive pressure on them going to Coventry, and then Leeds would have it possibly in their hands on the final day, but at the moment that looks a long shot.
Yeah, and how much pressure has there really been for Ipswich throughout this season? I mean, he's done the unbelievable to maintain the...
Oh, there's pressure now, though, because it's so close.
Yeah, of course. That's the dynamic changes, because they can feel it now, can't they? So it's a great test for Kieran McKenna, isn't it, going into these games where all of a sudden people think they're nearly there.
Leeds coming forward now on the far side, and the cross-in is very deep, looking for Gal Hart, but it's gone beyond him and a lunging pile, and it will be a goal kick. And the hardy Leeds fans who are still here, but there are hundreds of empty blue and white seats behind that goal now. Newport Pagnell services in about 2 hours is going to be a fairly grim place. But Queen's Park Rangers, a team who have lacked goals this season, have suddenly come up with a 4-0 victory. That really sums up the championship.
I noted it down, Nigel. They've only scored more than 2 once this season. Against Stoke here in a victory. Incredible. So you would never have foreseen this margin of victory, of course. And I think that dates back as well. They haven't been free scoring for a couple of seasons now, and despite the brilliant display this evening, that's where they need to improve ultimately to be higher up the division next season.
But Martin Cifuentes will believe he's got something to build on, and more importantly, perhaps, he's also got the time now in pre-season to really put his imprint on the squad.
Yeah, and I think, Dan from the South London Press made a great point. He's probably not been able to really put his stamp, his real authority, play with his principles, which will be, I'm sure, a lot more attack-minded. He's just had to, go with that real solidity, I suppose. Yes, he's reintroduced Willock and Chair, who weren't in the side together early part of the season, so he had to do that, I think, to get that creativity. But fundamentally, this success this season has been about the structure of the team. Yes, there's been more football, and yes, there's been confidence, but it's the structure, the better defensive units that have proved vital in this survival.
90 seconds of added time to play. Begovic with a goal kick, one bounce all the way through towards Meslier.
Absolutely, though, there's not been there was for a period, 6-week period under Mick Beale, but there hasn't been a feeling like this, I don't think, around this club for many a year now. I think they're onto a good thing with this coach, unquestionably.
Now it's back in field towards Shackleton on the edge of the penalty area, but Rangers win it back, and it's hammered downfield towards Armstrong. Tries to link up with Adoma, but here is Kamara. Wide towards Shackleton on this near side. And Leeds here rather going through the motions in the 95th minute, 4-0 down, and they've given the ball away. Chair will play it forward now to Sinclair Armstrong, who loses out on the far side to Ampadu. Armstrong, though, forces Ampadu into a hurried back pass to Meslier, and he will eventually clear the ball downfield. Well, Leeds have doubled both Leicester and Ipswich, but ultimately they may still fall short. The Championship can be a very unforgiving place, and Leeds have experienced the rough end of that here this evening, as Gelhardt tries to bring it forward on this near side. It is all over. Loftus Road celebrates survival for Queen's Park Rangers, and it's promotion for Leicester City back to the Premier League at the first attempt. Leeds United have been humbled here by 4-0, and by the next time they play, Ipswich could also be automatically promoted to the Premier League. They've got to win tough away games at Hull and Coventry, but by the final day of the season, automatic promotion could be sorted out. But one thing is certain, Leeds United have been absolutely hammered here tonight, and Daniel Farke has a big rebuilding job in terms of confidence and cohesion for the remaining games this season. It is finished. Queen's Park Rangers 4, Leeds United 0.
Leicester City return to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Congratulations to Enzo Maresca's side. And 5 points from their final 3 matches will see Ipswich join them and seal a place in the top tier of English football for the first time in 22 years. They go to Hull tomorrow night. It's live on Talksport 2. Leicester could even seal the title on Monday if Ipswich lose that game. We'll have the Foxes trip to Preston live here as well. And of course, congratulations to Queen's Park Rangers, who are staying in the Championship. It was billed as the season to end all seasons, and it could well live up to it. Another remarkable result, and it means the momentum swings one more time, potentially definitively in the race for automatic promotion. Sam Parkin, let's firstly discuss Queen's Park Rangers. They have reached their goal, their target for this campaign. Incredible impact from Martí Cifuentes to keep them up. 9 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats in their last 17 games. Fantastic form shown for a pretty negative, pretty bad place at one point.
Yeah, incredible job. Outstanding work that he's done in such a short space of time. Some really influential signings, I think, in the January window, but I mean, the way he's coached this team, the confidence that he's got, that he's instilled in these players. Just touched on it latterly in the second half there, bringing Chair and Willock back in. Willock was very much on the periphery under Gareth Ainsworth previously. That was vital first and foremost, but he's done so much good, honestly. And like I said, under Mark Warburton for periods there was a little bit of belief here, but not like there is at the moment. And everyone inside this stadium tonight now will look forward to next season with such optimism, and that's been such a rarity probably over the last decade or so. And I think when you contrast what's going on down the road at Brentford, those envious looks can probably turn to people feeling a little bit of hope for the first time. So brilliant outcome after a season that really tested, I think, the most ardent of QPR supporters early on.
And it took their best performance of the season, maybe Leeds' worst as well.
Yeah.
What a remarkable evening of football we had.
Yeah, I said to Nigel, QPR don't win games by that margin. You're probably going back years, honestly. I mean, so you would never have envisaged that being the margin of victory, but they were better in all departments tonight. That didn't flatter QPR. That was an outstanding all-round performance, again encapsulated by Clark, Salter and Cook, the way they defended the box at times. There's a real belief they're going to keep clean sheets now. I think that's 13 for the season. That's not too shabby in a team that's been threatened throughout the campaign by relegation. But then, the forward players, absolutely majestic, especially first half. That front three that supported Lyndon Dykes were brilliant, and Dykes arguably one of the best games I've seen him play in a QPR shirt. He was brilliant, thoroughly deserved his goal. So from back to front, that was an outstanding display, and Leeds well and truly second best.
Who is responsible for that performance from Leeds United? Will the pressure be put on the players now, or will there be big question marks over Daniel Farke and how he managed them tonight?
Yeah, possibly. I think we spoke about it at half-time. You've got to get your defensive set up and your structure right, especially when you're playing against players that are confident at the moment, as the Rangers lads are. And I think to afford Chair and Willock so much freedom in that first half, not really lay a glove on them, was really poor from a Leeds perspective. The goals were really bad. And then they have to go for it. I think Nigel made a really good point. I think not having Dan James available, throw Bamford into that conversation as well, that's probably impacted them a little bit when there's a bit of fatigue setting in as well. And in truth, them, Leicester, Ipswich, it's all been a bit patchy since the international break. So I think they've all kind of struggled to get over the line. Clearly evident with them tonight. So a few ingredients going on there. I think everyone takes a portion of the blame. But what can Daniel Farke do at 2-0 down? You've got to go for it. You've got to put all your ammunition on. They just came up against a team that was hungrier and better in all departments tonight. That's the truth of it.
Played twice this week, 3 points out of the 6 available, but they did concede 7 goals in the 2 matches. They're going to take on Southampton in their final match. Ipswich go to Hull and Coventry before the final day of the season. They'll host Huddersfield on the final day of the campaign. The initiative has clearly been handed back to Kieran McKenna's side here. Do you think that is it? Do you think the pendulum will swing back in Leeds' favour?
It's difficult to see it now, isn't it? Just after witnessing that, but the last few weeks have been crazy. It's difficult to predict anything. We know that in this league, especially the way that it's moved around this season. But I mean, it'd be amazing to know what the sense is in the Ipswich camp now, in their hotel, as they prepare for that colossal game now next week. And we spoke about it towards the end of the commentary, Hugh. It's different dynamic now, isn't it? The pressure is on them, possibly for the first time this season. And any Ipswich fan would have taken consolidation this year. There's been no suggestion that they were going to be able to stay the pace with these two. Now it's on them, isn't it? They are the favourites, the clear favourites to do it. So,
and this is an opportunity that may not come around again for a few years.
Of course, yeah. That's always the case, isn't it? When you get a runner like this, when you get a story like this, the reality is teams will improve next year. The teams that come down, it's unlikely they'll be able to be as strong as they are this campaign. So yeah, absolutely, that's going to be a test of those players tomorrow. Can they maintain what has been an unbelievable achievement when the pressure is really on and it really matters? And that is absolutely the case tomorrow when they kick that game off.
What about the playoffs? If it is to be the playoffs for Leeds United, a few teams will be looking on, feeling like they can see some weaknesses there that they could expose if Leeds ended up in that 4.
Yeah, you still got to go to Ellen Road, where they've been beaten once this season. The record before tonight was certainly the best defensive record in the league, the most clean sheets, Melier by a distance, I think it was. So you know, they're still a really, really good side, but they've shown flaws absolutely in the last 2 games, and it just shows you, you know, even Middlesbrough with nothing to play for pushed them really close, and QPR have absolutely demolished Leeds tonight. So it would give the others hope. Yeah, and Southampton are still playing well. Yeah, they've lost a couple of games recently, but they're still playing well. I was down there recently for that Preston victory. They got good squad, they got good players. Norwich, I think, are going to be a lot of people's dark horses if they get over the line. And West Brom, we know how good Carlos Corberán is, especially I think when it comes to the playoffs, especially the way he can set his team up and set up a game plan. So yeah, that is going to be, I mean, if that's the 4, blimey, that's the 4 that you would have probably. Well, with Leicester City, you wouldn't have had Ipswich anywhere near it. So it's probably 5 of the 6 that you would have anticipated being the front runner start of the season. And cool, that's mouth-watering if that's the 4 to go into it.
I was going to say there's still a long way to go, but for Leeds United, just a single 90 minutes. Maybe they will be in the playoffs. Maybe they will be automatically promoted. Of course, Ipswich will want to have something to say about that before Leeds next step foot onto the pitch. It's been a crazy night. A remarkable result we didn't see coming. They're certainly enjoying it at Loftus Road this evening. They are staying in the Championship. Sam Parkin, you can go and enjoy that moment. Nigel Adderley, thank you very much as well. Fantastic commentary.